Welcome to Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie, a Planting Positive Seeds podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie. I am so excited about tonight. We have an amazing guest that's going to come on and talk to you all tonight. And I'm going to introduce, I read over her bio, and I was just so amazed at all of the amazing things this woman of God, also this powerful speaker that she's doing. And so I'm going to read you a little bit of her bio, and then I'm going to bring her in so that she can, fill in some things that I may have left out. But, welcome to Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie, a Planting Positive Seeds podcast, where we are empowering others to overcome obstacles, and we're sharing inspirational stories to help you know that you can make it too, that no matter where you are or whatever part of life that you're in, we can inspire you throughout your day. So my guest is a certified life and purpose coach, personal development expert. She's a speaker and a woman's change agent. We are in for a treat. So Miss Shelley is extremely passionate and dedicated to the empowerment of women through strategized personal and professional development. She is the founder of the women's organization, The Powerful Woman. Now, I'm going to let her pronounce that because I'm over here messing stuff up. Charge it to my head and not my heart. I want to read you one more part of her. Her bio, and then I'm going to bring her in because I'm just chomping at the bit to talk to this powerful young lady. So Shelley challenges women to take responsibility for their actions, both productive and counterproductive, and that is so amazing. Of the person staring back at them in the mirror while reminding them that the fact that they are powerful, valuable, and unique, with more to offer than just their physical appearance. Wow. So I want to bring in my guest, my first guest, Miss Shelley. How are you on tonight?
I am doing well, and I am excited about being here, and I am even more excited to be your first guest. So I'm over here, throwing up my hands and
yeah. I'm so excited about it. Like I said earlier, when you sent me your information in and I was reading over all of the many things that you are doing out in the world. And, that is what I want to bring here to Planting Positive Seeds, to this inspirational talks, because we want to get others empowered. We want to get them inspired. And just like you said, you want people to know that you're powerful beyond what you look like. It's inner beauty rather than just physical beauty, the outside. So, I want to give you a minute to just introduce yourself to my listeners and tell them some of the juicy nuggets that I missed out. I want them to know all about you.
Well, again, my name is Shelley Meche'tte. I am a certified life purpose coach. I am a 100% believer that you really begin to live life when you discover purpose. It gives us a reason to wake up. It gives us a reason to live outside of ourselves. And it picks us up again when we feel like everything is falling on us. When we realize that we were designed and created for something, and it's something more than what that situation is in your life right at that moment, then we look at things a little differently. I may not be able to look at, next week, next month, next year, but I can look at tonight differently. I can look at tomorrow morning differently. And I believe that's what purpose gives us. I am also an author, and I am also a self-awareness expert. I believe that, again, when we understand who we are and we're able to touch on some of those frailties that we have, because self-awareness isn't just us going, oh yeah, I'm great at this, I'm great at that. No, self-awareness is you being able to look at yourself and say, I need some assistance here. I'm not so great there. There's a fragility going on here. And so when we're able to look at that, that's when we get to know ourselves. I'm passionate about women knowing who we are, so that we're no longer dependent on outside sources, especially men, to tell us who we are. And before anybody jump on me, I am not anti-men, nor am I a man basher. Men are wonderful. I love them. Great. But we need to be able to know who we are without men telling us, know our own worth, our own purpose,
Yes.
our own value, have our own awareness.
Yes. Oh my goodness. That is so amazing. So amazing. Everything that you said, and like you said, we do as women, we have to know who we are. And that's like the whole entire purpose behind inspirational talks, because we want people to grow. We want that self-awareness. I was just thinking about that today. And that's like you said in your bio, looking in the mirror. I actually have a book that is called, I'm an author as well, that's called Mirror Conversations. And I did it with that same mindset in mind when I wrote it, that we have to look in the mirror sometimes and tell ourselves the hard things, the things that, we know that we need to fix, like that happens along with self-awareness. We give ourselves
Mm-hmm.
that tough love, that self-care, and to build ourselves in places where we may, need to work on some things. And then
Exactly.
celebrate ourselves for the places that we're doing good. And we're used to celebrating others, but when that self-care, that self-love, and giving it back to ourselves, sometimes we don't really do that. And so I'm so glad that you're out there in the world helping women to know that they're powerful, to know that they're unique. Like God said, we're fearfully and wonderfully made. And so I'm so excited about that. So tell me, what, as a personal development coach, expert, and purpose coach, like, where are you located? Where are you
I am
located?
I'm in sunny California.
Yeah, you're in California. Okay. And I live in Mississippi, so I'm from the South. I've been to California, before, and so I have enjoyed my time being up there. So I just wanted, our listeners to know that we have people all over the world. So we're going to be broadcasting to you, from Mississippi, but we have guests that will be coming, all over the world, who are impacting lives, because I wanted to make sure that I take time to spotlight those who are out there, purpose pushers, and that are helping people in their area. So if we have anyone who is listening from sunny California or that's close to, we're going to make sure that Miss Shelley gives you all her information, at the end of the show. So you'll be able to, contact with her, even, do things over line. So we'll talk about some of the other things that she has going on, with her. So I watched your amazing video that you sent me from, you were speaking at a women's empowerment, I guess it was a luncheon, and
Yes.
I was blown away by like the first 2 minutes, because you went in there and you took charge of the atmosphere, and you had the women to say things to themselves and to their neighbors, because sometimes when we go places, we're all about like ourselves, and we have to liven up and meet others in the room. But you commanded that stage, and I just saw a fire within you, and that was like even more exciting for me to have you on the show, because I wanted to just hear from
Oh, thank
you.
you.
You're so welcome. I wanted to know, like, what sparked and started your love and your desire to empower women. Like, what started that? I know you talked about them knowing how powerful they was, but was it anything especially with you, or just tell our listeners what sparked that, you wanting to start to do those things?
One of the things for me is I've always been that person who likes to see the best in other people.
Okay.
I've always been that child who, if you're the underdog, I'm your friend. If you don't
Yeah.
have any friends, I'm going to go befriend you. That pretty much has kind of always been my personality, to be
Okay.
that person who always has her hand out to take the hand of someone else. I've always believed that when we come together, we don't have to be against each other. I think society puts something on young girls where you could be the pretty girl or you could be the smart girl.
Right.
Like pretty and smart don't go together.
Okay.
Like we have to be against one another from the beginning. So I've always had this concept of not liking the whole idea of us having to compete.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, in the school days era, there was a lot of, and of course it was prevalent before, but my main realization was when the movie School Days was out,
Okay.
when all of the light skin, dark skin, brown skin, paper bag, all of that was in my face at that time.
Okay.
And I had a friend who was very light, and then I'm a nice, wonderful chocolate girl, and people would be like, "Well, why is she her friend? You know,
Okay.
the light skinned girl. Why is she my friend?
Yeah.
Like I should have been beneath because of skin tone." So it's all of these things that I carried with me
Yeah.
getting older, plus some of my own things of self-esteem
Okay.
issues of not having my natural father in my life. My mother married when I was a little bit older, almost a teenager. So all of that flowing with me,
Yeah.
I developed a love for people, or women, I should say, who were like me. And so
Okay.
when I would look out and I would see women who, in my eyes, were the same as me, where I know this, there's some cracks. I know that there's some self-esteem issues.
Yes.
I see how you hang on the word of men. I see how you try to change yourself so that you can, make a man like you. I see where you'll put your children on the back burner. Y'all don't get mad at me for
Come on
telling
now.
the truth,
But you
but that you'll
speaking
put them on the
truth.
back burner so that you can make him a bowl of rice. So I've seen these things, and
Okay.
I'm like, no, we're more than this. And a
Yes.
lot of times our worth is connected to men and
Hmm.
us wanting to be seen by them. And I was like, no,
Right.
enough. Women, we are so much more.
Yes.
Relationships are amazing and wonderful and beautiful. They should add to your life, not be your life.
Yes. Oh my goodness. You have just, I know you stepped on some people's toes, but you know what? The Bible says the truth shall set you free. Because
You know, if you wanted to, if you don't want it to,
well,
hey.
that's if you're still living in denial, but you speak to something that is very, very prevalent, that sometimes women would cater more to the man than they would their children's, or even to
Mhm.
themselves. And I've seen that. I've even written about some of that in my books, but I knew that there was a story behind, because I can hear the passion in your voice. I can, just looking at you, like I said, speaking to those women about empowerment, wanting to impact their lives and change their lives. And, the books, like the title of the books that you've written, you're giving out tools to help them to learn how to do things a different way. Because as an author, for me, I'm a survivor of suicide. And so that's the reason why I love
Right.
helping people overcome obstacles. When I was younger, who I am today, I was this person at 14, but everybody was like, oh, they thought I was set apart. But it was like, to them, it was kind of like set apart in a weird way. It wasn't in the good way. And I couldn't, flow with that. And so God had to come to me and say, listen, I'm going to heal you, and your words that you're going to write are going to help me heal others. So my passion, started to help the people to be empowered and encourage them, to let them know they
Mhm.
matter, to let them know that, you're
Yeah.
special, and that, you have gifts inside of you, and that, you were thought about, you were born. God had a predestined plan for you. So I know that the women that are listening, even the listeners who have sisters and other people that are listening, they can appreciate you for being who you are, as a speaker, as an author, as a certified purpose coach, helping women to own who they are, to love
Yeah.
themselves, to be empowered. And so I thank you for everything that you are doing and that you're bringing
Thank
to
you. Thank you. Thank
society and
you.
to the community that you're serving, because we do need more people out there that's helping people to see the positive, and not just always bringing up the negative. And so since this is a planting positive seeds podcast, because we want them to know that not all growth is positive. Sometimes you have to go through things that will hurt a little bit for you, to grow, or like you said, for you to move. Sometimes people don't want to move. Were there any areas in your life that you had to overcome, or some triumphant
Mhm.
moments that came after maybe a setback, or maybe having to learn how to fail forward? Could you talk to some of the listeners about anything in your life that you had to overcome?
One of the greatest things that I really had to overcome is being able to accept people for who they are and where they are. And I say that because, as I said, I grew up with my mother, and my biological father was an absentee father. And I had to come to the point in my life that instead of being angry with you instead of, resenting you and hating you. And I'm not saying that all of those feelings aren't warranted. You didn't
Right.
do your part. And so being angry or upset with you or bumping heads with you, all of those things could be extremely normal. But
Yeah.
I had to come to the point where I said, you know what, for whatever reason, you were unable or chose not to give me what I needed
Right.
to develop as a young girl. I can't do anything about that 20 years later, 30 years later. I can't do anything. The only thing I can do is accept that, yes, unfortunately, your frailties, they had a negative effect on me. I walked through certain things because I didn't have the guidance of
Yeah.
my father to assist me. I had to come to the acceptance of that. Shelley, you didn't get the fairy tale. Get over it. You
Okay.
didn't get to be a girl. Boo hoo. I'm sorry. It did not
Right.
happen for you. Be upset, be hurt, cry about it, be mad about it, and then settle it in your soul.
Okay. And
Understand that this person was not able, for whatever reason,
to
to
give it
give
to
you what was needed. And
yeah.
now it's your responsibility to say, I got it, I accept it, I move on with it, or I allow it to fester
Okay.
and put me in a position that I don't walk out the purpose and destiny that God gave me because I
Woo.
can't hear you because I'm too busy being angry about somebody who's not even a part of what I'm doing.
Right. Oh, and you said something that was so good because, we do have to walk through it in any situation that we go through. But like you said, that spending time to know that instead of letting it fester, you have to go above it and around it. And I can
Yes.
share that with you because even though after I, attempted to commit suicide, I had to know that just because no one else could see where God was telling me that I was going to go, that it wasn't, it wasn't, I didn't have to worry about them. I just had to worry about what I believe. So whatever
Yes.
I believe, so I began to change my focus and my mindset. And so, this is a manifestation where I am now and writing books and speaking to people and even doing
And it's
podcasts like this to bring more people in. It's a manifestation of my belief in myself. And so, I want to say kudos
mm-hmm.
to you for having an elevated mindset to be able to know that, that was their, issue. It was their thing and it had nothing to do with you and
It
your
was.
destiny and where you were going. And so I just want
And then I had to realize that, here's the thing that we have to realize, especially as parents, our brokenness cuts other people. And
yes,
so whatever he dealt with in life, I unfortunately had to get the bad side of it.
yeah.
Because of what you were unable to do, I
Mhm.
was left with the brokenness. I was left with the abandonment issues. I was left with the self-esteem issues. I was left with all of that
Yes.
because your broken pieces, they slashed me and I bled. We
Wow.
have to be so careful
Help
of
them.
our own brokenness
Yes.
that we don't take those sharp pieces and stab our children and
Yes.
recreate this cycle all over again. Somebody has to say, I am broken. I'm cutting me.
Yes.
Let me mend me so that I'm not
Woo!
continuously cutting for generations to generations to generations.
Yes.
So his
Oh my goodness.
cutting stopped with me.
Yes. Oh, that was
It stopped
powerful.
with me.
Oh, it stops with me.
Somebody has to stop the cycle. Somebody has to. So I needed to get my understanding together, get my forgiveness together, get my crying together. I had to figure out what in here do I take control of. And it was not overnight. It was not next week. It was not in the morning. It was a process to where I was driving down the street one day, literally boohoo crying. I don't even know how I made it home, but I was boohoo crying, driving down the street and just calling out people's names who I forgave. And I literally was in the car driving saying, I forgive you, this person. I forgive you, that person. I forgive you for not knowing how to love me. I forgive you for hurting me. I forgive this
Yes.
person for harming me. I forgive this person, for being abusive towards me. I forgive you.
Yes.
I forgive you. And not for you, but so I do not cut my own children, my own husband, my own family, so that we can mend together.
Exactly. Wow. Okay. That was awesome. That was amazing. That was powerful. Those were nuggets that people have to know, that they have to draw the line in the sand and say it stops with me. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back and dig more into this. Okay. So let us take a break with our sponsors, and we will be right back. Okay, and welcome back to Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie. We are here talking with the certified life purpose coach. I'm personal development. I'm getting tongue tied over here. Okay, so look, I want to put it all together. You just have so many amazing things going on. And, before the break, you were talking about, drawing that line in the sand. And I just want to kind of like piggyback to that, because I can tell you a story of being a single mom for 7 years and raising my boys. And I had to say the same thing too. I talk about resiliency and restoration. One of my slogans for my company is "Discover the Champion in You." And so all of what you were saying is like something that I had to do, because even when I was not taught those things, I had to be those things for my children so that the cycle could not stop. Where I didn't get certain things, I had to learn how to be able to give it to them, because I want to raise powerful young men and little kings that will be able to go out into the world and do and far surpass me. I know I'm doing a lot of things, but I want them to go out there and be, have their self-esteem intact, have their mindset intact, to be scholars in school and play in their sports. So I just wanted to say I appreciate you for sharing that and drawing your line in the sand and saying that you were going to do better and be better and be a great example for your children, right now with what you're doing in life. Now, I want to jump over to these amazing topics. Like, I was reading over some of your speaking topics, and I see that you've been featured. Oh my goodness. Let me read out some of the places that she's been featured. So it's CBS and NBC and ABC and the CW and Yahoo. Yeah, we are with a celebrity. We over here with royalty, everybody. The WW, she's been on Legal Zoom, Ask Men, Authority Magazine. So she has a lot of different places that she's been seen, been heard, and people have, they know about, what you have been doing. Tell me about some of your speaking engagements. And, I love your topics here: stepping into sisterhood, some of your topics, and 6 ways to love you that doesn't include a man. I heard you say that earlier when we were talking. So just tell me a little bit about, your speaking engagement and all the places that it's taking you, and most of your experience on your journey.
It's been an up and down journey, and that's what I'd like for other speakers to know. People who want to come into speaking, I like for them to always know it's an up and down journey, and you have to create your own successes. Instead of us sitting around waiting for those successes to come, we have to create them. When I wasn't on stages, when no one was putting me on stages, I created a stage. I created my own conference. I stood on my own stages. I created my own workshops. I created brunches. And so I created the stage for myself, because I had a message that I needed to get out. So when I first started this, I started this with no direction. As far as speaking, I don't, that's not the way that I would tell anybody else to do it. I don't recommend that. Have a little plan, a little one. But I had nothing. All I had was a desire. All I had was an ambition. I knew nothing about a targeted audience, an avatar, preparing this. I knew nothing about speaking topics. I knew that I had a voice. I knew that I had been in an abusive relationship, and I wanted other women to see the subtlety and how it happens. I knew that I had abandonment issues, and so that played a part in me falling into that relationship. And it played a part on me having a hard surface too. I'm a kind, loving person, but I have a hard surface. And my husband had to chip away at that surface. And was that fair to him? It's one thing to be aware and to be smart and to keep your eyes open. It's another thing for somebody to have to go out and get a doggone rock and just, try to get to your heart, just like slamming.
Exactly. You got to do some healing. Listen, you speaking to the choir because I'm over here. I'm, still single and asking God, but I'm also taking this time to heal myself and make sure that I'm 100% whole. Like I don't go in 50-50. I'm going in 100% to
Exactly.
anything. So, I just thank you for sharing that, because some people want to act like they didn't had it together or they had everything together, and that's not my story, either. Coming into this, I was 14 when I was sitting in my room and God said, I'm going to heal you. And your word's going to help me to heal others. But he healed me through my crying, through my, my being upset, through my mad, being mad, and then even dating and different things, family issues. And so a lot of the stuff that I write about in my books, are things that God actually had to heal me through. And am I perfect now? No, I don't strive to be perfect, but like you said, I'm a lifelong learner. I want to continue to learn, to perfect, stand in my self-awareness of who I am. But, I say this to say that because I'm one of the people too. Like I've been different places over the world, but I really wanted to impact lives. Like you said, you had a story. Yeah. So you knew that there was a woman who was waiting on your voice to hear what you've overcame, to get nuggets from you, to glean from your journey. And so, you talk to broken women, and, I saw when you said, you talked about it earlier, but I read this. You said you believe that broken women raise broken girls who become our next generation of brokenness. And
Yes.
It's so powerful because that is true. And
yes.
If they don't heal, then that is going to be the case, because that was one of the reasons why I did a book that I'm writing about things I wish I knew. And it's a letter to my little sisters, but I want to give them some knowledge about things that I didn't know when I was younger. I desired to know. I didn't have all the tools. And so I really want to commend you. I'm so thankful that I had this opportunity to do this interview with you, because you are really dynamic in everything that you've accomplished. I also see on your bio that you're an ordained minister.
Yes,
You've been married since 2002, and you have, two amazing daughters. And so, you full-time wife and mother. And so
God is good.
outside of, helping others, you still are, doing what you need to do, and taking care of family life. So when you are not writing and speaking in all over the world and on CBS and TV, like what are just some of the things that you like to do personally for yourself? Just a self-love moment. What are some things that you like to do?
Child, put me in front of the TV with some comedy and
Okay.
a Dr. Pepper, and I am good.
You good? Listen, that sounds comfortable, because sometimes, like as writers and speakers, we just want to be still and quiet sometimes.
I want to be still.
Right, because I will binge watch something just so I won't have to write, because I know I will write. I have a lot of tablets, and so get you.
I do too. I do. I have notebooks everywhere. I have and I sometimes I run into them later. I'm like, oh, I remember that idea.
Right.
Let me start.
And I go back in there and I be reading like, oh, this could be something for the next book. But so we do share, all of that. And, I just wanted you to have a moment because we need our downtime too, because we're not all the way always on. And so we have to know that we do need to manage our time. We need to make sure we give ourselves some self-love and some self-care. And so I really wanted to just shed some light on that. Also, I want to just give you a brief moment, because I know we're coming almost to the end of this, but I wanted you to talk about your books, where they can be found. I want you to give others, your links and different things. How can they get in contact with you, or talk about your programs if you want to talk about what you offer? This is your time to just shine. I'm gonna be quiet, and I'm gonna let you tell us all about what you have going on, and if you have engagements that may be coming up by the time someone listens to this, if you want to share it, feel free to do that, now.
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to say I really appreciate this time. I never get enough of talking about how to empower women, how to pour into women, how to position women to understand their purpose and to live beyond our titles. we live behind titles. When we ask each other, tell me about yourself, we do it all the time. We begin with our titles. And so I really, I get excited when I'm able to see women and their eyes spark up when they realize, oh my gosh, I never stopped loving to color.
Yeah.
I love to color, but somewhere along the line, somebody told me that coloring was for 5-year-olds, and I threw it away, you know. So these are the things that excite me.
Yeah.
And so to be able to come again to this broadcast with you and to be able to speak to your audience, I greatly appreciate that. I never take that for granted whenever I'm invited anywhere. So I thank you so much. But your audience can get in touch with me. The best way to keep up with me is on my website, which is my name, ShelleyMeche'tte.com. And I'll spell that because it doesn't sound the way it's spelled. And it's ShelleyMeche'tte. And that is my website where you can download 5 daily happiness habits, and you can get on my email list where I'll be able to keep in touch with you, let you know the different things that are coming up. Soon I will have a masterclass, and you'll be able to find out about that. And that masterclass is Mastering Purpose, how to cultivate, develop, and master what you've been called to do.
Awesome.
We need to understand how to master what the master has given.
Yeah.
And so this is what this master, this is going to be about, this master class. But you can also on my website connect with me, and you can schedule a 30-minute clarity master call with me where we'll sit down and talk about some of the things that you enjoy and how to extract purpose ideas from those things, and how to begin to build an awareness for your purpose and how to walk in that. Yeah. So many of us reach our 30s, 40s, some 50s, and we just really don't know what makes us happy.
Exactly.
What is our passion? And so I'm here to help declutter those things for you. And even if you know your passion, but you just need some help lining it up, schedule that clarity call and let's do that together. And you can also find me on Instagram under my name, Shelley Meche'tte, where I like to give life quotes, where I like to do power notes and things of that nature to keep you encouraged and to help you. I also have little excerpts and things of places that I've spoken and podcasts, so you'll be able to get some encouragement there as well. You can also grab my book. It's 70 Days of Happy. Life is Better When You Smile, which is a personal journey. I said, I'm all about self-awareness. Well, that's a personal journey to your awareness. And you can grab my book and workbook off of my website.
Okay.
Where you can download for free the 5 daily habits.
Okay. I'm going to the website so I can get this this book, because I love to see the smile on there, because I love to smile. I'm always trying to stay positive and think, happy thoughts. But you just gave us a lot. And so listeners, please go and connect with her on her website. She has master classes coming up. She has workbooks for you so that you can be on purpose with your purpose. She wants to encourage you. Please stay connected, to her. And this has been, I've had an amazing time. I'm so thankful. I never get enough of, having opportunities to impact lives. And, I don't want people to think that it's always about me. I thank God that he said, let's do inspirational talks, because there are others out there that have so many powerful stories. Like you said, that somebody's waiting to listen. And so I am so glad to be connected. I'm going to go sign up for your website as well, so that I can be connected to know whenever you're doing things, if I'm in the area, and, to support. We have to support each other, because there's, we can all do it. We all have our own set of, people who are connected to our voice. And so once again, I want to thank you. And I want to let you, if there's one more thing that you just want to tell the people before we leave the show on today, I want to give you the opportunity to do that now.
Yes, I would like for your audience to know that as long as there is breath in your body, it's not too late. And you can fill in the back part. So as long as there's breath in my body, it's not too late to what? Because we as people, we put off things and then we go, oh, well, now I'm 30, well, now I'm 40, well, now I have a family, well, now I have this. And so part of who we are sometimes is wrapped up in the things that we've forgotten about.
Right.
And so I want everybody to fill out that sentence for themselves. I have breath in my body, so it's not too late for me to, and fill that in.
Right.
What have you been putting off? What have you been too afraid to do?
Exactly.
What have you been making excuses about?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is, start walking out who you are with just that sentence. Because you do have breath in your body, yes, because you're listening to this broadcast. So you have so much to give already. So because you have breath in your body, it's not too late to what?
It is not too late.
Feel that in.
Feel it in.
You're working it out, schedule a clarity call with me.
That's right.
We'll work it out together.
Well, you all have heard it here. Come on now, fill in that blank so that you can know what you have. You have breath in your body, and what do you have left to do? So we want you to answer that. We thank you for joining us today. This is Planting Positive Seeds, where we're planting positive seeds in the lives of others. We're sharing our inspirational stories. We're helping others to be inspired. And, we're doing all things through Christ who strengthens us, God first. And so I just want to thank you all for listening on today. My website is www.ladonnamarie.org. You can also go over to the nonprofit website, which is plantingpositiveseeds.com, and see all of the things that is coming up. I just want to say, stay tuned to the broadcast. Make sure you share this with any woman or teen that needs to hear, some encouraging words to empower her to her next move, to empower her into her purpose, because Miss Shelley has given us everything that she has on tonight as far as empowering women, even, broken women, to help them to see who they are, to know who they are on the inside. And I love when I read her strategized personal and professional development, this masterclass. Make sure you go and sign up. Look and make sure you see whatever she has on her website, that you sign up, and even for her clarity session, so she can help you to walk into your purpose with your head held high. This has been LaDonna Marie, and this is Inspirational Talks, and I thank you all for joining in on tonight. God bless and have a great night. This has been another purpose-packed episode of Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie, a Planting Positive Seeds podcast. Please remember to like, share, and tell your friends about the podcast. Stay tuned for many more Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie.